3 consecutive outcalls. All of them wrong. All of them overruled. And all of them in the middle of the biggest match of Alexandria's SEA Games career. On December 18, 2025, the 20-year-old Filipino tennis sensation didn't just battle her opponent on the court in Nabui, Thailand. She battled questionable officiating, a hostile home crowd, and the crushing weight of 26 years of national expectations. And when the final point was won with a 616-2 victory over Thailand's Manangkaya Singkeo, Eala had done more than capture her first SEAG Games gold medal. She had ended a drought that began before she was even born. The last time a Filipina stood atop the Southeast Asian Games women's singles tennis podium was 1999 in Brunei, when Maris Fernandez captured gold. That was 26 years ago. An entire generation of Filipino tennis players had come and gone without reaching that pinnacle. Before Fernandez, you have to go all the way back to 1981 and Piau's triumph at the Manila Games. In the years between, Indonesia and Thailand had dominated the event, combining for 11 titles and essentially shutting the Philippines out of tennis supremacy in the region. But December 18, 2025 was different. This was Alexandra Eala's moment, and nothing, not even a linesman determined to disrupt her rhythm, was going to stop her from making history. Walking onto the court at the National Tennis Development Center, Eala was the favorite. She was ranked world number 53 by the Women's Tennis Association, making her the highest-ranked player in the entire tournament and the highest-ranked Filipino in tennis history. Her opponent, Singkeo, was ranked 240th in the world. On paper, this should have been straightforward, but tennis matches aren't played on paper, and this one was about to become anything but straightforward. There was history between these two players. Less than a year earlier at the ITF Takasaki tournament in Japan. So, Singkeo had defeated Eala 6-4, 1-6, 2-6 in the quarterfinals. Eala hadn't forgotten. This was also a chance for redemption, a chance to prove that loss was a fluke. And she was playing in Thailand on Singkeo's home soil with a partisan crowd ready to back their player at every opportunity. From the opening serve, Eala made her intentions crystal clear. She broke Singkeo in the second game and raced to a commanding 3-0 lead. Her powerful ground strokes and aggressive baseline play were overwhelming the Thai player. So, Ano managed to hold serve in the fourth game to get on the board at 3-1, but it was merely a brief respite. Eala responded by winning the next 3 games, closing out the opening set 6-1 in dominant fashion. The Filipino fans who had traveled to Thailand erupted in celebration. Their champion was 1 set away from ending 26 years of heartbreak, 1 set away from making history. But the second set would test everything Eala had learned throughout her breakthrough 2025 season. After blanking Singkeo in the opening game of the second set, things began to shift. The Thai player found her rhythm in the second game, tying the set at 1 game apiece. Then came Game 3, and with it, controversy that threatened to derail everything Eala had worked for. As the game unfolded with the score tied 1-1 in the second set, something bizarre happened. The linesman made an erroneous outcall on a ball that was clearly in. The chair umpire overruled it. Then it happened again. Another wrong call. Another overrule. Then a third time. 3 consecutive incorrect calls. All going against Eala. All on balls that were actually inbounds. Eala had seen enough. She approached the chair umpire and did something that showed both her maturity and her frustration. She requested that the linesman be replaced. The request was denied, but the message had been sent. This wasn't acceptable. Fans watching on social media were outraged, with one posting, "The linesman who called 3 successive out for Eala balls that were actually and should be penalized, too deliberate." But the controversial officiating wasn't the only challenge I faced. There had been an unusually long break after the first set, seemingly designed to disrupt her momentum and allow Singkeo to regroup. When play resumed, Singkeo was allowed 2 equipment change breaks to replace her insoles, a tactic she had also employed during her semi-final match against Indonesia's Janice Chien. The pattern was clear. The conditions of the match were working against the Filipino star. Despite all of this, the questionable line calls, the tactical breaks, the hostile crowd, Eala refused to break. After the linesman controversy in Game 3, Sankeo capitalized on the disruption and managed to break Eala's serve in Game 4, tying the second set at 2-2. For a brief moment, the home crowd sensed an opportunity. Could their player mount a comeback? This is where champions separate themselves from contenders. This is where years of training at the Rafa Nadal Academy, where months of competing against the world's best players on the WTA Tour, where a lifetime of preparation for big moments all come together. Eala dug deep in Game 5. She broke right back to regain the lead at 3-2. Then she watched as Sawanka, feeling the mounting pressure, committed a costly double fault that helped Eala extend her advantage. In Game 7, Eala broke serve again to move ahead 5-2. She was now one game away from gold, serving for the championship with the weight of 26 years of Filipino tennis history on her shoulders. The final game wasn't easy. Sawanka, to her credit, refused to surrender. The two players traded powerful baseline drives, each refusing to blink. On the fifth exchange, with match point on the line, Sawanka attempted a cross-court pass. The ball sailed wide. The gold medal was secured. Eala held her face in her hands, overcome by emotion. The Filipino fans in attendance roared their approval. She had done it against all odds, against questionable officiating, against a home crowd and a determined opponent. Alexandra Eala had captured the Philippines' first women's singles tennis gold medal in 26 years. In her immediate post-match interview conducted right there on the court where she just made history, Eala's emotions were still raw. "To end the year on this high is such an amazing thing," she told reporters, her voice thick with emotion. "I wouldn't have thought it would happen at the start of the year." Later, she would tell Olympics, "Calm. I'm so over the moon. To be able to bring this sort of pride to my country is something I've only dreamed about." The tears came when she embraced her parents. In a touching moment that underscored the generational significance of this achievement, Eala handed the gold medal to her mother, Rita Mano Eala, herself a former swimmer who had won an SE Games bronze medal 40 years earlier in the women's 100-meter backstroke. Two generations of Filipino athletes, both SE Games medalists, connected by that same unbreakable competitive spirit and love of country. What makes this victory even more remarkable is the context of Eala's 2025 season. This wasn't just any year. This was the year she announced herself as a force on the global tennis stage. She began 2025 ranked 138th in the world. By the time she walked onto that court in Thailand to face Sawanka, she had climbed to 53rd, having reached a career high of world number 50 in November. The breakthrough moments came in rapid succession throughout the year. At the Miami Open, she reached the semifinals, becoming the first Filipina to reach the last four at a WTA 1000 event. Along the way, she defeated three former Grand Slam champions, proving she belonged among tennis's elite. She made her Grand Slam main draw debuts at the French Open, Wimbledon, and the US Open. At Flushing Meadows, she became the first Filipino to win a main draw match at any Grand Slam in the Open era, defeating Denmark's Clara Tolson, who was ranked world number 15 at the time. In September, she won her first WTA Tour title at the Guadalajara 125 Open, cementing her status as one of the sport's rising stars. Nearly 354 days after beginning her 2025 campaign at the Canberra International qualifying rounds, her season came to an end on that court in Thailand. And what a way to finish! The road to SEA Games gold had been methodical and impressive.